What's going on, everybody? Kalipa's Tech here, coming back at you with another video. This is the beginner's guide to the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G 2022. In this video, I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks for this phone to help you get more familiar with the device. Now, before we go any further, as always, I do want to remind you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you want to learn more about this phone, be sure to check out my full review of it as well. But with that being said, let's get started. So the first thing I want to show you is how to change your wallpaper. All you need to do is go to Settings, and from here, go to Wallpaper, which is right under Display. And from here, we got a few different options. You can choose from either live wallpapers, photos from your phone, or preset wallpapers that come with the phone itself. Now that was easy enough, but I'm going to show you an even quicker way to do this and change some other settings for your home screen while you're at it. Now if you press and hold your finger on any blank spot on the home screen, this is going to show up. As you can see here, we got several different options. For personalized, this is basically just going to be the theme of the phone itself. A lot of different things you can do here. Then of course, we got the wallpaper underneath that. You can also add and remove widgets and change the general home screen settings, which includes stuff like notifications, icon size, and a few other different settings to really personalize your home screen. The next thing I'm going to show you is some things you can change in your notification settings. So to get to this, of course, the first thing we're going to do is go to Settings. From here, go to Notifications. So in the notification menu, the first thing we see, and probably the most important thing for that matter, is the app settings. Now this is basically going to control which apps can actually send you notifications, and this is really important, especially if you have a lot of different apps, because when you do have a bunch of apps, they tend to send you a bunch of notifications, and if you're getting a lot of unimportant notifications, not only can it be annoying, but sometimes it can also cause you to miss something important. So to control which apps can actually send you notifications, go to App Settings. And here, it's going to show you all the apps that have recently sent you notifications, filtered by the most recent. And here, you can toggle off whichever ones you don't want notifications from. As you can see here, there's certain ones you can't turn off, but typically these things don't actually send you notifications. I've personally never noticed one from whatever this is. And if it's something that's system related, again, you can't turn off notifications for that, but everything else you should be able to get rid of. Now back in the notification menu, like I said before, there's certain notifications you can't turn off, but you can silence them so they don't show up here in the status bar. And that way when you get those notifications, it's not going to create clutter in your phone. So to do this, all you need to do is go down to the bottom here, and where it says hide silent notifications and status bar, make sure this is toggled on. That way, whenever you have a silent notification, then it's not going to show up here in the status bar. Now along with notifications, another set of options that's pretty important to configure right when you get the phone is sounds. So let's take a look at how we can do this. So first of all, as always, we're going to go to Settings. From here, go to Sound and Vibration. And as you can see here, we have several different things we can change. First of all, it's basically all the volumes, pretty self-explanatory. First, we got media volume. So if you're listening to music, watching a video, playing a game, anything like that, that's what this is going to control. Call volume, so your earpiece when you're talking on the phone. Ring volume, again, pretty self-explanatory, that's going to be your ringtone. Notification volume, that's going to be everything else, so stuff from apps, text messages, that sort of thing. And then alarm volume. So you can control all of that kind of stuff. As you can see right now, my ring volume is set to vibrate, but maybe you don't want your phone to vibrate and you'd rather just have it in mute instead. Let me show you a real quick and easy trick to do that. So press the volume down button, tap on this icon, and as you can see, we got some options here. I'm going to hit mute, and there we go, the phone is in mute right now. So pretty simple, and then if you want to change it again, simply hit either of the volume keys, tap on the icon, and change it to whatever you want. Then we got Do Not Disturb here, which you can do it from this menu, but the easier way to do it is simply to pull down the shade like this, and Do Not Disturb is right here. Under Do Not Disturb, we got the ringtone right here. A little bit lower, we got the notification sound, alarm sound, and then if you want your phone to vibrate as well as make sound, you're going to be able to do that from this tab right here. So as you can see, by default, it's not going to vibrate if you have sound on, but of course you can change it to always vibrate, or have it vibrate first, then ring gradually. I've never personally used this option before, but of course if you want to, the option is always there. Then we got some other stuff like dial pad tones, outgoing call vibration, screen locking sound, charging sounds and vibration, touch sounds, touch vibration, and power on sounds. Most of this stuff is on by default except for touch sounds for whatever reason, but in this menu you can change any of it to your liking. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to change your screen timeout time. Now this is one of those things that's pretty important, and it's also going to be different for pretty much everyone. It really depends on how you use your phone. If you're consuming a lot of content, maybe you're reading, watching videos, playing a game, something where you need your screen to be on for a longer period of time, then you're probably going to want the longest screen timeout time you can get, and that way the phone won't fall asleep on you when you're reading, which can be really annoying. But on the flip side, having a long screen timeout time means unless you lock your phone right away when you're done using it, the screen's going to stay on for a much longer period of time, which can drain your battery. So if you're not using your phone like that, if you're not doing stuff like reading, viewing photos, watching videos, all that sort of thing really often, then you might not need the time to be quite as long. So let's take a look at how to change your screen timeout time to better fit how you use your phone. So first thing we're going to do, as always, is go to Settings. From here, go to Display. And from here, go to Screen Timeout. And as you can see, I have mine set to 30 minutes, but you can also set it as short as 15 seconds. And again, this really depends on how you actually use your phone. So if you're really new to this phone or smartphones in general, and you don't really know how you're going to be using it yet, definitely play around with it and see which time works best for you. Maybe start at like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and go from there. Because again, if you're not really using your phone a whole lot, you'd probably be perfectly fine with something like a minute or 30 seconds. But then again, if you're consuming a lot of content, then you might want it to be a little longer. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to change your system navigation. Now as you can see down here, we got 3 buttons. This is a pretty simple system to use. Now in case you're new to Android or smartphones in general and you're not quite sure how to use this yet, basically the home button is right here, this middle button. So if you're on an app or something, hit home. You're going to go right to your home screen. The back button is on the left, and that is of course to go back. So if you're doing anything, hit the back button. It's going to take you back, of course. Then we got a recent apps button on the right. So pretty simple and straightforward, but I'm going to show you how you can customize your system navigation to get a different type of navigation called gesture navigation. Now it's kind of interesting to see that this phone actually does have button navigation by default, because while pretty much all Motorola phones have the option to switch between the two, most of them I've seen recently have gesture navigation by default instead. Now does it really make a difference? No, not really. They all do the same thing, but still I can't help but wonder why exactly they chose to go with button navigation on this phone and gesture navigation on pretty much all their other new phones. But no matter, if you ever want to change this, all you need to do is go to Settings. From here, go to System, which is all the way at the bottom here. Go to Gestures, and go to where it says System Navigation. So as you can see here, this is the System Navigation menu. Again, by default, it is going to be 3-button navigation on this phone. But again, the default setting doesn't really matter because you can change it to either. So we're going to go to Gesture Navigation. And as you can see, the 3 buttons are replaced with 1 line at the bottom, and in my opinion it looks a lot more modern and clean this way. Regardless of whether or not you prefer gesture navigation or button navigation, if you want the most modern, clean, minimalistic look, gesture navigation is definitely going to be the way to go. Now in case you're not familiar with how to use it, let me show you real quick. So to go to your home screen, swipe up like this. To go to your recent apps, drag your finger up like this. And to go back, swipe from left to right, or right to left. It doesn't really matter which way you swipe, as long as you go from one side to the other. Now of course, when it comes to system navigation, there's really no right or wrong answer. It's really just about personal preference and whatever setup you like the best. So if you're not familiar with either of them, or if you've never tried gesture navigation before, whatever the case may be, I recommend giving both of them a shot because who knows, maybe you'll like one of them better than the other. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is how to change your screen lock. Now just to clarify, the screen lock is this right here, how you get into your phone when it's locked. So as you can see, I have a pin and the fingerprint scanner as well. So let's take a look at how to set all of that up. So as always, the first thing we're going to do is go to Settings. From here, go to Security. So if you want to change your screen lock, go to Screen Lock. It's going to ask for your PIN. And we got several different options here. Pretty much the same as any other Android phone. We got None, Swipe, Pattern, PIN, and Password. Now None and Swipe are basically the same thing. It's basically no security at all. Pattern is more of an old-fashioned Android type of style. Then of course there's PIN, which is basically the industry standard. And then there's Password if you want really high security. Now of course, in addition to this phone also has a fingerprint scanner as well as face unlock. The options are right below the screen lock. So for example, if we go to fingerprint, Again, it's going to ask for the PIN. And as you can see here, one fingerprint is already registered. And from this menu, to add a fingerprint, go to add fingerprint. And as you can see, it's pretty simple here. We also got this option, and this is going to allow you to unlock your phone when the screen is off. So if I go like this, as you can see, the screen is off, touch it, and it unlocks. But if we disable this, lock it again, and now as you can see, it's not unlocking. And then of course we got face unlock, which works basically the same way. So to set up face unlock, of course, you're going to go here, enter your PIN, and once you do, it's going to give you some on-screen instructions, pretty simple. And when you register your fingerprint or your face, these features are going to automatically enable, so you don't need to do anything else. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to change the refresh rate of your display. Now, in case you didn't know, this phone actually does have a 120Hz refresh rate, and this can be great for consuming content because basically what it's going to do is make the movement on the screen a little bit faster and smoother. So when you're streaming videos, playing games, doing anything with motion, even just navigating through the phone itself, things are going to look a little bit smoother and faster, so you're going to get a better, more premium experience overall. But say you're not really doing a whole lot of content consumption on your phone, and battery is more of a priority for you. In this case, since having a higher refresh rate is going to consume a little bit more battery, you might want to turn it back to a standard 60Hz refresh rate. Because after all, having a lower refresh rate, while not being nearly as premium, still doesn't look half bad on this phone. So to change this setting, we're going to go to settings. From here, go to display. From here, go down to display refresh rate. So as you can see, by default, it is set to auto, and this is actually pretty cool because it's more variable. It's going to speed it up when you're doing something where you can actually benefit from it, but when you're not doing anything where it really needs it, it's going to keep it at 60 Hz. So this is going to give you the best of both worlds. On one hand, you'll be able to experience the more premium feeling of having a 120 Hz display, but it's still not going to be like that all the time, so it's going to save battery when possible. But say you just don't care about battery life at all, and you'd rather just have the smoothest, most premium experience possible. In that case, you might want to just change it to 120 Hz, and that way the display is going to be 120 Hz at all times. Now you probably can't even see the difference in this video, but the movement on the screen is definitely a little bit smoother and feels more premium. But on the other hand, say you're on the complete opposite end, maybe you don't really care about the refresh rate and you'd rather just save as much battery as you can, well in that case you might want to change it to 60 Hz instead. Now with the standard 60 Hz display, it's not going to be quite as smooth, but in my opinion it doesn't really change a whole lot, so if you do want to save battery, dropping the display down to 60 Hz is definitely a viable option. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is how to take a screenshot. Now to take a screenshot with the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G, all you need to do is press the power key and the volume down key at the same time like this. And there we go. This little menu is going to show up. It doesn't really last long, but it allows you to edit, share, delete, whatever you want. And that's pretty much it. Now there are several other ways to take a screenshot, but the main one is a feature called 3-finger screenshot. So this is a really cool option. Honestly, I didn't even check to see if it's enabled by default. So just in case, I'm going to show you how you can turn it on. So first thing we're going to do is go to settings. From here, go down to the system menu, which again is all the way at the bottom. So right here. From here, go to gestures. From the gesture menu, go to 3-finger screenshot. And it looks like it is on, but if it's not on your phone or you want to turn it off, this is where you're going to go to do that. Now when 3-finger screenshot is enabled, all you need to do is put 3 fingers on the screen and hold it for just a second. And there we go, that's another way to take a screenshot. In addition to this, we also got screen recordings, which is another really easy feature to use. To get to this, pull down the shade twice, scroll all the way to the third menu. Screen record start is right here, tap on this. It's going to give you this little message, hit start, there's going to be a countdown, and there we go, the screen is now recording. If you expand this little menu bar, you can change a few different things. You can draw on the screen, turn on your microphone so you can narrate it, and even record yourself. And you can also pause the recording, and when you're ready to stop, hit stop right here, and it's going to save it right to your photos. Now the last thing I'm going to show you is how to enable dark mode. Dark mode is a real popular feature, and in case you don't know what it does is pretty self-explanatory, so let me show you. So to enable dark mode, we're going to go to settings. From here, go to display. And in this menu, under appearance, we're going to have dark theme, toggle this on. And there we go, that's pretty much it. Dark mode is now on, of course. You can also schedule it to turn on and off automatically. So if you go here, as you can see, there's a schedule option. So you can have it turn on at a custom time or from sunset to sunrise. But this was my beginner's guide to the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G 2022. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found these tips and tricks useful as well. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And again, if you want to learn more about this phone, be sure to check out my full review of it on the channel. But that's it for this video. As always, I will see you in the next one.